What's going on, everybody? This is Dylan, the producer and host for Survivor Millennium Park. What you're about to listen to is the cast assessment that I recorded 3 days before we filmed the season back in August. These are my predictions, my impressions, a little bit of background information about some of the players you're going to meet during the season, some of whom I have known for years and are very close to me, some of whom I just met for the show and had never met before that. Going to give you my winner pick uh, as well as a little bit of information about some of the pre-existing relationships coming into the game. Uh, Hope you enjoy. All right, taking a look at Andrew. So Andrew is somebody that I don't know. You're just gonna start with someone I've never met before. Andrew is friends with somebody who was going to be in the cast who I knew, who had to drop out, unfortunately. I think Andrew has the potential to do extremely well in this game. I was really struck during his interview. Very personable, very friendly, very funny. He's also a big Survivor fan. He's been binging it during the pandemic. I think that I think that he's going to have a good understanding of how the game works, but also a good read of other people through his experience in improv. I think he's going to be good at reading a room and sort of maybe calibrating to what the rest of his tribe is about, so that he doesn't come in like guns blazing right out of the gate, like going too fast. Next up, we have Emma. I'm very excited that Emma is playing the game. She's my sister-in-law. She's my wife's younger sister, starting her freshman year of college this fall. This is her last free weekend before she moves into college, actually. I'm so excited for her to play. She had me host her like a Survivor birthday party when she turned 16 with her family. She did very well in that. However, obviously that's her family. Like, she was supposed to win. She actually didn't win it though. She drew that we had to do like a rock draw tiebreaker at the final four, because she was so loyal to her ally, and she ended up drawing the wrong rock and being randomly eliminated at the final four. So I don't know if this time she's going to be willing to like put all of her eggs in the basket of an ally, or if she's going to play a little bit more of a selfish game, which I think would be more than warranted. Emma is the youngest person in the cast. I don't know if that's going to impact how she connects with other people. She just took a gap year in between graduating high school and starting college because of the pandemic, and during that she was working full time. So I think that is going to give her an edge over maybe if we had some other players that were around her age, who maybe don't have that kind of real life experience of having to relate to people who are, decades older than her and having to work with them. Emma just has a really fun personality that I'm really excited for people to get to meet Emma. I could really go on for probably an hour about how amazing I think Jean is. I know Jean from college. She is an incredibly smart, talented, driven, funny person, and is I think just the complete package for a social game like this. The only thing that I think could get in her way is potentially lack of knowledge of Survivor. But I think she's going to be somebody who gets along really well with her team. I think she's going to be a huge asset in challenges and in terms of strategy. I would not be shocked if Jean took the whole thing. And I think if the other players are smart, they will get Jean out the first chance they get. Because I think she could just sneak through and just take the whole thing by being such a likable, good-natured person. I think that Jean is both driven and probably has a competitive streak, but in a way that I think people want to get behind. Uh, like, it's the kind of competitive where like you want to be on her team. You know what I mean? So I'm so thrilled that Jean is part of the cast. John is the next member of the Tortuga tribe. He is somebody that I know through community theater. We've worked on a couple of shows together. John got into Survivor during the pandemic, watching with his two twin boys, who I believe are both middle school age. So I think that that's so cool that they're going to get to watch their dad on this like quote unquote TV show, So obviously, because of that, you have to root for John to do well. I'm really interested in how he's going to like fit in his tribe. He talked in his interview about how he will often find himself like in leadership roles without necessarily seeking out leadership. He was like, I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's just because like if I'm like the oldest person in a group and they assume like, oh, like you should look to John. I don't know, but I could definitely see like maybe the rest of his team is like, oh, like he's the dad of the tribe, and like they gravitate to that energy, and maybe John leads the Tortugas all the way. I don't know. I think that'd be so cool. I think that John is going to be a really shrewd, smart player. And they shouldn't underestimate him. I think John is someone to watch for. Now we have Sarah. Sarah is another teacher and another person that I know through community theater. I directed her in a play a couple of years ago. Uh, I was so excited when I found out that Sarah was interested in playing. She's currently running for school committee, which I think is incredible. I love, I love when people decide to take a chance and like run for local office. I think that's very exciting for her. Um, and I'm kind of curious to see, like, she's been in campaign mode in her real life for a few months. So I'm really excited to see how she does with the social politics of the game. I think that Sarah's a big team player. I think she's a big personality. I think she's really funny. Uh, I think that Sarah is somebody, I don't know if she's like, I don't know that Sarah wants to win. And that's not a knock against Sarah. Like, I think there's a lot of people in this cast who are kind of like, oh, like, whatever, like, I'll go with the flow. Like, I'm happy to do whatever. If Sarah came into this and was like, I just want to have fun, then I think she'll just have fun. And I think that she'll be a really fun contestant to have. But if Sarah showed up on Saturday and says, like, I want to win this thing, I'm here to win, I think she could take it all. I think that she could really surprise people and just take the whole thing if that's what she wants to do. Next up on the Tortuga tribe, we have Tony. Tony is somebody I found for the show like 2 weeks before we started filming through a Facebook casting group. So Tony is another person that I'm just meeting for the first time, but he blew me away in his interview. He's very athletic, huge Survivor fan, and he played in a game at his college where he learned very early on, like, oh, like I can't like be too combative with my opinion about things. Like, I've got to sort of like just go with the group and like sort of follow the lead of other people. Very analytical. I think that he's going into this already knowing to lower his threat level. I've never met him in person, but he told me that he's kind of tall and kind of athletic looking. He's biking to the location, which I think is awesome. So I think that Tony, I don't know if it's going to hurt him that he doesn't know anybody going into this. And, I believe he's the second youngest player we have. I don't know if those could work against him, but when I met him, I was really impressed very quickly. I think that he could be a real star of the season. Last player from the Tortuga tribe we have to talk about is Wu. Wu was somebody I met. I used to work at a music conservatory where she was a student getting her master's degree. We kept in touch after I had stopped working there and after she had graduated. And she reached out and said that she was interested in playing. And she binged Survivor Cagayan. She was like live texting me her thoughts on it. She is so excited to play. And I'm so excited to have her here. Wu is a hard worker. Wu is an extremely sweet, friendly person. During her interview, she talked to me a little bit about the difference between like how she can interact with a group when she can speak Mandarin with them versus when she has to speak English with a group. I think that once Wu's team gets to meet her, they're going to see what a joy she is to have at their campsite. And I think that she could really make a deep run at this once she gets in good with a group. Now on to the Hara tribe. First up, we've got Drew. Drew is best friends with Wu. That is how I met Drew for this. As Wu said, I've got a bunch of friends I think would be great for this. So she put me in touch with Drew. Drew's originally from South Dakota, just moved to Boston. I think Drew is going to do really well in this game. I was really impressed in her interview. She really, I think more than anyone else during the casting process, really opened up. I was like very honest about her background and her life experiences and who she is. Like I felt very connected to her after just like, like a 20-minute Zoom call. I think that if Drew can come into the game like that and, like let people know, like, this is who I am, like, this is what I'm about. I think that might catch people off guard in a really positive way where they're like, wow, like this is such like a genuine, open, honest person. That's the kind of person that I would want to work with. And I think that they're going to feel the same way about Drew. Next up on the Hara tribe, we have Jonton. Jonton is a buddy of mine. We met in college. And since then, he acted in a play I directed. Jonton is a character. Jonton is another player who I think if he came in and said, I want to win this game, I think that he's very likable. I think that he's very, he's not someone you assume is a threat. He can be very sweet. I think if Jonton said, I want to win this, I think he could win it. If Jonton comes in and says, I want to be funny and I want to be a character, then I think he'll be a hilarious character he'll be a very funny elimination. He's always talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I imagine he'll drop some like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu quotes in the game. I know that he He has seen Survivor. He's a big fan of Russell Hantz. So maybe that tells you everything you need to know about John. Um, I think that he, again, it's to me, it's kind of up to John. If he wants to do well, I think he could do well. If he's just there to, like, if he wants to play a villain, he'll be a villain, and he will probably not last very long. Next up, we've got Justin. Justin is somebody I know because of Survivor. I played in a few of the online games that he hosted over the last year. I think that is actually going to play a big part in why Justin might be successful in this game. Is he's just spent the last year hosting these online games with like dozens and dozens of players in these different play styles. I think that he has seen so much that's worked and so much that hasn't. Uh, that I think that he might be able to like read people's minds in this game and like see like the telltale signs of like when something's gonna happen. He also has experience playing games like this before. He just played Surviving Reelfoot this year, which I believe he won unanimously. Interestingly, I think that he was voted out of that game, but then like was able to return and then play a good enough game to win. Um, so I think if people realize that he's like a super big threat, they should probably get rid of him soon. Um, that being said, with that kind of like other game experience, is it possible that Justin himself could come in like too strategic, too scheming, and play too big of a game to get to the end to get the votes? Possibly. He might need to calibrate to some of the players here who aren't big Survivor fans. But if he's able to do that, I think he's in a really good spot to go far. Karen on the Hara tribe is another one of the players who I know through community theater. I will actually never forget meeting her because I met her at an audition for a show, and I didn't know anybody. She like went out of her way to introduce herself and make me feel so welcome and so invited to be part of the group. And I've continued working with her for years because of that first impression. Like, she's incredible. If she brings that kind of energy to the game and like to her tribe, I think that she could create an environment where like she's the heart and soul of the tribe, and the people are going to want to keep her around because they like working with her. I don't know if she'll get underestimated because she's one of the older players. When she messaged me to, enter the casting process, she asked if I'd be open to having an older player. And I said, absolutely, Karen. Because of assumptions people might make, Karen might have an extra challenge in having to prove herself to the tribe. However, I think that she's more than up for that challenge. And I would love to see Karen make a deep run in the game. Kim is another player who I haven't gotten to meet before this weekend, but I'm super excited to get to meet her. She's friends with Andrew. That's the connection of how she got involved in this. After a couple of emails and a FaceTime call with Kim, I think Kim's the kind of friendly where like you just want to spend more time with her. Like, she just seems like she's like a fun person to like hang out with. And there's a lot of downtime in the game Survivor where you just need like a good person to like spend time with and like a good person to be able to strategize with. She definitely seems like she's got like a good gaming perspective. Like, I think she could be like a huge strategist in this. I think that if they let Kim take an inch in this game, she'll take a mile. I think if she makes it through like a couple of rounds, she is going to go all the way, and don't be surprised if she wins. So for those of you who are longtime subscribers to this channel, you may recognize Tom from Survivor Berkshire's season 1, which was 8 years ago. I didn't know this. He was only 14 when the original Survivor Berkshires was filmed, and now he is a college graduate. He's an English tutor. He like remembers like, oh yeah, like I found the idol and I didn't tell my team, and that created tension, and then I wasted the idol. We got picked off by the other team. He was the last one standing from his team, and I think that he went out with like a little bit of like, oh, like, well, now that I know what this is, I could have done so much better. And talking to him, he remembers so much of it that I think that now he knows how the game works. He's seen a few seasons of Survivor since. I'm just gonna be curious because he is one of the few people here who has played this game before, and specifically played the version that I've hosted before. So I think as long as he can come in and sort of like gauge correctly what needs to happen, I think that he could make a real run. Last contestant we have is Zach, another person that I know through community theater. Zach might be like the biggest Survivor fan here, which you love to see. The question I think for him is going to be sort of that question I have for any Survivor fan in one of these games. Does he come in too hot, too fast, too excited to be like, yes, I'm on Survivor, here's my chance? And if he, but I think what works in his favor in that regard is Zach is a very level-headed person. He's very friendly. If he gets in good, I think that he could be a contender to go far. There's a mix of players here who know the show really well, a mix of players who don't know the show so well. And I certainly, if I saw a player who knows the game as well as him, if I don't know the game as well, my thought is either let me hitch my wagon to him and I will just ride his coattails to the end, or I'm thinking like I gotta get this dude out now. Um, so I am excited to see how Zach does in this because I know that he is another person who's really excited to be part of this, and I'm really excited to have him. So that's my assessment of the cast. I do want to give a quick little breakdown for folks who are interested of like who knows who going into this. So first up, just the group of people who don't know anybody going to this. Emma doesn't know anybody. Tony doesn't know anybody. Justin doesn't know anybody, and Tom doesn't know anybody. So I will be kind of curious to see how that four does going into the game. If past relationships do become a big part of it, they could be in trouble. On the flip side, they don't know anybody, so they don't have to like worry about like like anybody on the other tribe who they have to like meet up with later or not. They're not going to be targeted because they know too many people. We do have a couple of pairs of real best friends. Like I said, Wu and Drew. Wu is on the Tortuga tribe. Drew is on the Hara tribe. I believe Wu told me that they would be wearing matching outfits to the game, so I don't know if people are going to notice that and target them for it. And Andrew and Kim have also been friends for many years. I believe they knew each other in college, and that's how they met. They're best friends. I think Andrew is staying with Kim for the weekend of the game. Jean and Jonton know each other. They both went to school. That's where I met them, so they know each other as well. They graduated the same year, so they have known each other for years. So that could become a factor for them. And there's also a contingent of people who I know because of theater. So Zach and John worked together on a virtual show, but last summer, I believe that's the only connection they have. John and Karen have worked together in community theater a couple of times. I'm not positive on this one, but I think Karen and Sarah know each other. I'm not sure. I do know that Sarah and Jonton know each other. Uh, Karen might recognize Jonton because he was in a show at the theater that she often works with. But that's it as far as that's it as far as I'm aware of any pre-existing relationships in this game. Now, the last thing I want to say during this is who my winner pick is. Like out of all 14 players, who am I guessing could be the winner of the whole thing? And I think the most likely person to win Survivor Millennium Park Season 1 is Jean. I think that Jean will win for all of the reasons I listed before. I think she's going to be competitively viable in challenges. I think she's going to be a really friendly presence to have on your tribe. I think that she's got like a good-natured competitive drive where she's going to be like down to do like the strategy, but maybe not like the leader of the strategy in a way that gets her targeted. If Jean gets to the end, I think she's got it locked up. So I'm putting it out there. Jean wins the season. So that is my cast assessment. Again, I'm recording this 3 days before the game. So we'll see if I'm right about anything. Thanks for watching.